All right, good morning, everybody. David Paul with you. We're live in the KHOU 11 newsroom. This is the Weather Center part of the newsroom. Wanted to break in here live this morning, give you an update on the severe weather threat that we have for Houston and southeast Texas. And you can see it. It's rolling in out of central Texas. They've already had some small hail reports near San Antonio. There are numerous aerial flood advisories for street flooding off to our west. And that's all moving in our direction. So let's take a look at where this is all happening. First of all, here's the worst of the weather right now in Texas, and it's this line of storms right there moving through Corpus Christi and Mustang Island and Rockport. And you see how that is in a bow shape, like a bow and arrow. That would be the bow, and here would be the arrow if we were to draw back the arrow in that bow. When we see that formation, that bent line echo wave pattern, we know that we've got very strong straight line winds. That's a straight line wind threat. And they're probably getting wind gusts there near Corpus and on Mustang Island 40 to 50 miles an hour as that races off there at about 40 to 50 miles an hour. So that's where the worst of the weather is right now. A little bit closer to us, Victoria. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. That's the yellow box for Victoria. That's until 9:45. And you've also got this line that's bowed out just a little bit, so we've got a straight line wind threat there. They could gust to 50 miles an hour, and that's why they've got that severe thunderstorm warning for Victoria. Also a lot of cloud to ground lightning and brief heavy rain. There may be some small hail with that storm as well. Dumped enough water to prompt this aerial flood advisory, Goliad to Beeville. That's until 10 a.m. That's for street flooding. We're not seeing any river or bayou flooding, that type of thing, but street flooding in some of the low-lying areas is going to be a problem and can be a little dangerous there. All right, let's move a little bit closer and let me show you. I've got a storm track on this. This line, I've got it moving at about 30 miles an hour to the northeast. So if that holds together, it reaches Ganado by 10:13, Louise by 10:28. And that's coming right up 59 and eventually moving into Wharton and then eventually into Fort Bend County in the next couple of hours. All right, so that's that part of the line. A little closer to us, there's Houston. So far we've been in the clear, but now this is a new heavy thunderstorm out toward Giddings, just south of College Station, producing this aerial flood advisory. And you see we've got a bunch of them, much of these green boxes out here, Rockdale to Giddings, back toward Austin and Georgetown. Those are all for street flooding. That's the biggest threat with this line of weather as it comes through. Will be a lot of street ponding and street flooding. We're not seeing home flooding or river flooding, just the street flooding. So driving as that comes through Houston will be a bit of an issue. Those aerial flood advisories in effect until at least 11:15. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning. You see all the lightning with that one. Lightning, a good indication of the strength of a thunderstorm. You get that much lightning just north of Rockdale. Thunderstorm warning there until 10 o'clock this morning. All right, moving on. Here's Houston. There's the leading edge of the strong thunderstorms, but out ahead of it, we've got a little bit of activity here, and there's a flash of lightning right near the coast. So folks near Freeport, Surfside, here in the next 20-25 minutes, you're going to get some rain, and there could be a flash of lightning with that as well. And you can see we've got a little bit of light rain out toward Columbus. It hasn't reached Katy yet, but it's getting close, and it's only about an hour or two away. So the timing on all of this and the severe threat will be as such. There's that line of storms heading up, and if it holds together, it reaches Houston. We've got an estimate on that at around 12:52. That line looks like it's accelerating a little bit. I actually think that we're going to get that line of storms in here closer to noon in downtown Houston, and that's without anything new forming ahead of it. And I'm kind of concerned that something new is going to form here. So there's a lot of moving parts, and we're just keeping you updated here. If you download the app, the KHOU app, you'll have the radar right in your hand and the updates as well and all the live stuff too, so you can just keep that and carry it with you today. All right, moving on. So the severe threats as they stand, heavy rain, I think 2 to 4 inches in a lot of spots is likely. That's street ponding stuff, but that's not going to cause any type of bayou flooding, which is good news. Wind gusts 30 to 40 I think may be common. They may be stronger if we get 1 or 2 storms that really fire up, so we're just kind of watching for that. Hail. Small hail is most likely with this, nickel-sized hail perhaps, maybe up to quarter size. And an isolated tornado is possible. It's not overly likely. This type of pattern, we've got it lined up in a line. Usually we don't get a whole lot of tornadic activity, but we might see 1 or 2 little ones spin up and come and go very briefly. So we're monitoring for that as well. So how much rain are we going to get out of this? Well, let's see how this timing works out. This is the latest rapid refresh computer model And by 11 o'clock, you can see we've got that rain getting into Katy and Sugar Land and Tomball and Humble and Houston and Cypress and Pearland. And as we head toward 1 o'clock, it continues across the area. This is the type of time when we could have a lot of street potting and some high water spots here and there. And as we go later in the afternoon, 2:30, most of it begins to move through to the east side. So it's Chambers County, Winnie, Mont Belvieu, Anahuac, and then to Liberty and folks in Dayton, and then up to Cold Spring and Livingston and Corrigan. By 2:30, you're getting the heavy rain threat. And then it skedaddles out of here, and by 6:30, the real severe weather threat will be done. So that's the timing on all of this as it moves on through. It's going to take several hours to get it to move on through. But it looks like it's moving fast enough that it's not a gigantic flooding threat, just the nuisance street ponding. And because of that, we don't even have a flash flood watch in effect. It's just a severe thunderstorm watch for these wind gusts that are the most likely severe threat going forward. As far as how much rain we're going to get, it doesn't look like too terribly much rain, and this is because the line is moving fairly quickly. But computers are estimating maybe near 2 inches in Katy, inch and a half or so in Houston, Pearland maybe 1 1/3 inches, Galveston maybe 1 inch of rain, Liberty 1.5 inches. We need it. It's enough to get the garden wet and get the lawn nice and wet, but if these rain totals do verify, we won't have any significant problems with any type of flooding. So we look at the extended forecast. Today is the rainy, stormy day. Monday we may still have some lingering showers out there, northwest breeze and not quite as warm. And then it's gorgeous on Tuesday and Wednesday. Beautiful Thursday as well. We'll warm to 84 on Thursday. And then a front's going to come through. We've got another little spring front coming in. So a little cooler on Friday, and then it's 60s, cooler with rain next weekend. Like we need another rainy weekend, but that may be in the cards. All right, so that's the latest update on all of the weather and the rain coming in. Late morning through early afternoon is the timing on the severe weather threat. We will keep you posted here. We'll keep you posted online. I've got we'll break into program if we do get any significant severe weather warnings as well. And just keep close with us and stay weather aware with us as we move through this stormy late morning and early afternoon.